Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf. Today I'm here to do another set of reviews for Manga Spice Cafe, and this would be for the March box. The theme for the March box was Shaman King. I'm gonna start off talking about the mystery mangas that were included. The first one being My Hero Academia Team Up Missions Volume 1. Story and art is by Yoko Akiyama. The next one is Dr. Stone Reboot by Byakuya. Or Byakuya, I'm not quite sure how to say his name. Story and art is by Bochi, who is actually the illustrator of the original series. And then the final manga that was included in March's Manga Spice Cafe box is Shaman King, and this is an omnibus edition, so it's volumes 1 through 3 by Hiroyuki Takai. If you haven't already seen my unboxing for this month's box, I will make sure to leave that linked up above. We're gonna start off with the first one that I finished, and that is Dr. Stone Reboot by Byakuya by Bochi, and this is actually like a prequel. So we're following Senku's father. If you've read the story, the original story, Senku's father Byakuya ends up getting the opportunity to basically become an astronaut and go into space along with a group of people, and they're up in space when they see the events of the entire earth becoming petrified, and they're trying to decide what is the best option to go from there, because from their knowledge they are the only living and non-petrified humans, and we're kind of just following them along that storyline, at least for a couple chapters. I thought it was interesting, but a lot of it I wasn't too invested in because I knew, I guess, the general outcome of the story. So I just felt like with this I was almost reading for no reason, because these characters didn't have the best outlook, and I knew that going into it, so that kind of sucked. I think when I put this in Call I ended up getting like 3 stars. It was just one of those things, like it was okay, but it had no real purpose or no sense of urgency, because I knew where the end of this was going. I wanted to like this more than I did. I still want to continue on with the Dr. Stone series because I'm curious to see how everything plays out after, you know, what happened in the first volume. But as far as this one, it just wasn't hidden like I wanted it to, and it got 3 stars for me. Hey y'all, so I am popping in to kind of insert this footage here, or refilm this footage I guess, because I don't know if I deleted the original footage or if I thought I was filming and I actually wasn't. But I was editing my video, the one that this will be inserted into, and one of the mangas that I was talking about, I can't find the clip for at all. So I figured I would come on and do a really quick review of that so that it can go in the video that I'm trying to upload today. That one is My Hero Academia Team Up Missions Volume 1 by Yoko Akiyama. This one is following the students of UA High as they get a new, I guess, assignment from the school. So basically each of the students is teamed up with different superheroes, and they have to complete certain missions with the superhero that they're assigned to. I thought this one was pretty entertaining, especially considering the fact that I have only read volume 1 of the original My Hero Academia series. This is one of those stories where you can kind of just jump in whether you really know the characters or not. And it was interesting seeing how the students kind of mesh with people like superheroes that were already in the field basically. And not a whole lot to say about this because there's not a whole lot of details I guess I can get into without spoiling anything, but I did really enjoy this one. I thought it was really fun, and after putting this one into Call, it is another one that got 3 stars for me. My battery died, and the other batteries that I usually have on standby weren't charged, so I did have to take a little break, but I'm finally back to do the final review for this video, which is for Shaman King. This is an omnibus edition that includes 3 volumes of the manga, so I kind of got a good first look at the series, I guess, and kind of got a good idea of what's going to be going on here. And this one is by Hiroyuki Takai, and this is a story that is following this boy named Yo, and he is actually a shaman in training. And he, at the beginning of the story, he moves to Tokyo in order to continue on with his training, and the whole purpose behind the training is that he wants to become the next Shaman King. And of course, you know, because of that, he has a lot of work that he needs to put in to go towards that. And we're kind of seeing the story through the lens of another character, another boy named Manta. And the story starts off with him on his way home from cram school one day, and he decides to take a shortcut through a cemetery because he's running late and he really wants to get home without it being too late. And once he goes into the cemetery, he stumbles upon Yo, and in that whole interaction he finds out that ghosts actually exist and that now he's able to see them. And we're following Manta as he kind of gets caught up with Yo and all of the shenanigans that Yo gets up to because of him being a shaman and going through his training process. So this is one of those stories that has a lot of side characters that kind of pop up and are having some type of significance to the progression of the story, but mainly we're following Yo and Manta as things continue to happen. And a couple of things kind of stuck out to me once I finished like this entire omnibus edition. It is one of those stories that I don't think I'm the biggest fan of the way that the author decided to tell the story, because we're focusing on Yo, but it's told from the perspective of Manta, and because of that, it's a lot of Manta kind of just spewing out what's happening despite it actually happening. So he's just like kind of reinforcing what's going on, and I felt like that wasn't always necessary. I honestly felt like Manta for the most part was very much pointless to the story. Like, we did not need him at all. I think one of the main reasons he was there is, one, like I said, to kind of tell us what's going on, tell the audience what's going on without the character who's involved in everything having to stop and kind of break that fourth wall to be like, okay, this is what's happening in my life. But then also to kind of be like the hostage or something that's always happening to him. And then thirdly, it also makes me think that something tragic is going to end up happening to Yo, because it's just like, why did you decide that this story needed to be told from a different perspective when it could have been a lot different having the story told from the perspective of the person who is actually trying to become the Shaman King. Another thing upon reading this, which I feel like might be something that is kind of common around manga series, especially like shonen manga series that follow this type of theme, is that it got very repetitive. And by the end of this entire omnibus, I was just kind of not sure if it's something that I want to continue on with, because I don't want to just keep reading the same things over and over with different characters. While I enjoyed this, I think it's something that I'm gonna at least have to see where it ends, or like how many volumes total it is, before I decide whether or not I want to continue on with this. Because as of right now, I'm just like, I don't want to keep reading basically the same thing over and over until we finally come to that final battle. I have not put my stuff into Call for this one yet, but I think this is probably going to be around 3 stars as well. It has some decent aspects, but like I said, it just wasn't my favorite thing ever to read. These are the 3 mangas, I guess technically the 5 mangas that I read for March. Let me know if you've read any of these ones that I talked about, you know, or if you've read any of these, let me know what you thought about them. And if you haven't, let me know if you would be interested in checking out any of them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more from me, make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye.